Welcome everybody. Welcome. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome. We have a show lined up for today. Of course, we're back. My internet is still not the greatest, but I'm like I have to come back. On a day. Good to see you. Do me a favor. I shall come in. Not to. I see you. Good to see you. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you are notified when we go live. Abby, I see you. Good to see you, Abby. Good to see you. I guess Blexy was here. I don't know if you're still here. And shout out to D who was here long ago. Good to see you, everybody, and good to see if you're a replay gang. Good to see you. I know our time is off right now, but we're dropping content, so make sure you're catching up. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. I want to say shout out to all the sponsors of the shows. Thank you. What we do here is we extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics. All right, that's what we do here. We extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics. There are quite a few events have happened over the past few days. Some not so great, some just black, but we're here. The good news is that we're going to extract life and lessons from them so that we can have some more tools, resources to create the kind of life we're looking for. We learn from other people's stories. We don't have to replicate other people's crazy stories. We can just learn from them. All right, without any further ado, we have some shows to cover today. We have some stories to cover today. And please hit the like button. Okay, our goal this month was $109.45. We're more than halfway through already. Shout out to all the sponsors. We're up to $62.98. Last time I updated this was at $8. So whatever we're doing is working. Thank you. It helps us. It goes a long way. I am a coach, relationship, marriage, some other stuff, but for this platform, we focus on relationship and marriage. So if you're looking for our books, you can get the books for free as free bonuses when you sign up for the 21-day boot camp, and you also get a free consultation, 1 hour consultation. Okay, when you do join the 21-day virtual bootcamp, which means you can start anytime. It's 21-day, and it will help you create the transformation you're looking for. You will be coached by me and my wife, Lola. All right, so all of that you can find at manofprestige.com. Hit like, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back. It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough. All right, welcome back. Sadly, this young man who I did not know before, Charlie Kirk, as you can tell. Charlie Kirk, a conservative guy, lost his life yesterday. He was assassinated in broad daylight at a university right here in Utah. I'm actually broadcasting live from Utah. I got here like Saturday for some work, and this young man was assassinated. And I'm gonna play a couple of videos, and then we'll take it from there. Some of you might know him. Maybe you didn't like him. Maybe you didn't like his talking points. Maybe you didn't like his opinions. Nonetheless, unfortunately, he lost his life, in broad daylight. In fact, there were some very graphic videos. I'm not going to play them here. So I'm going to play a couple of videos, and then we'll take it from there. And of course, Solomon Buchi was not the last person to give an opinion on this. We're going to play that opinion as well. All right, so this young man says he died at 31 years old, but he was once 17 years old, attends Wheeling High School in Illinois. 18 years old, founds the conservative organization TPUSA. 21 years old, moves TPUSA to Arizona and expands operations. 22 years old, gains national spotlight during presidential election. 23 years old, rises as frequent Fox News commentator. 25 years old, launches the Charlie Kirk Show podcast. That's about 6 years ago. 26 years old, publishes the book The MAGA Doctrine. Wow. 26 years old, campaigns for Donald Trump's re-election. Okay. 27 years, marries Erica France. Well, that number looks off. 27 years old. I'm not sure how accurate this is. He published a book called The College Scam. 31 years old yesterday. Host American Fest something. 31 years old yesterday, got shot and killed. Brought daylight at a university. Sadly, he survived by 2 young babies and a wife. Okay. Somebody said here he did not die. He was murdered. He could have been the president of the United States. Such a brilliant man. He has done more in a short life than many people in a lifetime. He loved this nation and life. That's what some people are saying. Beautiful tribute to a smart and brave man. Much love to your family. All right. So a lot of people have been outpouring a lot of tributes to him, but some of the first things that started going viral are some of the controversial take that he had during his life. So I'm gonna play some of that, but before I get into that, this was I saw this. I was out here in Utah, and my brother was messaging me, make sure you're staying safe out there. Something just happened. I was like, what happened? I was like, who's that? I don't know who that is, but lo and behold, my feed were flooded with a lot of content around this young man. Okay, and before I knew it, and of course, our very own Solomon Buchi, who you guys love very much, he had some things to say about it, and I was like, you know what? We should definitely see what he had to say about it, but let me pull up what Solomon Buchi had to say about it, and then we'll take it from there. You see, when it comes to political rhetorics, right? Political rhetoric, anything that has to do with religion in general, my opinion are pretty much very typically bleh. They are pretty much the zones where people will say, take a side. I was like, no, I am the government. I give people the freedom of religion and faith. Okay, let me chill. But you know what I mean? As in, like, I really do believe that people should have their freedom of what they believe in when it comes to political stuff and stuff like that, But I'm going to play this video and let's see what Solomon Buchi has to say.
How do you claim to be liberal, to be more kind, to be more accommodating, to be whatever, and you resort to violence, to take the life of another person to express your views? It is just beyond me. Like, you claim that love is love. You claim that people should be able to do whatever they want to do. You believe in free speech, in being yourself. But when people are themselves in a way that doesn't agree with your ideology, you resort to violence. Charlie had 2 children, 2 little girls, and a wife. This is actually very painful and it's very gutting. And
all right, so that's one of the first videos I saw in my feed, and it's kind of crazy that I don't think anybody should be suggesting that any one side of the politics took him out. There's still investigations going on till now. It's almost 24 hours, more than 24 hours later. They haven't found anybody. They found a weapon, but they haven't found anybody So for Solomon Buchi to leave completely like thousands of miles away and be making suggestions to who's responsible, I think some people took exception to that. Again, remember I was just learning about this. I was going to say, does this guy really fully understand what American politics looks like? But honestly, there are also people that live in America, even Americans that sound like him. So I reserve my comment just because of that. Somebody said, oh no, I wished he survived it. Kai, that was a horrible sight to behold. Imagine what pain his wife and kids. Somebody said, so you have concluded on the profile of the person that took him. So Christian of you. The issue here is that someone has been shot. Enough of all this political BS you guys always resort to for everything. So this person say, why are you making conclusions? Well, here's the thing. A lot of Nigerians they love this guy. They loved Charlie Kirk, from what I've seen, particularly because he wrapped all of his rhetoric, he wrapped them up in Christ. He justified a lot of them. So he had a lot of things to say. But there was one particular video that's been going viral. I'm not sure if I can find it right now. There's one particular video that's been going viral. But let me play this video of another video of Solomon Buchi, since he's one of the reasons why I'm highlighting this. Let's listen to this.
Black people, there is nothing racist about a white person loving their country so much that they don't want illegal immigrants to stay in their country, because you wouldn't even entertain an intruder in your house. There is nothing wrong for a white person to be patriotic and to believe in their country and to want the best for their country. There is nothing wrong for citizens to feel like they're being stifled in their country and wanting to reclaim it from people who migrated to their country. Absolutely nothing wrong and nothing racist about it. And let me also add, black people, there is nothing racist about white people pointing out degenerate values in our culture, because
all right, so you see where we're going. These were the kind of things that Charlie Kirk used to say. These were the kind of things he used to say. So of course Solomon Buchi is here justifying it. Again, I'm not sure if he completely understands what he's chiming in on, but he's using common sense. As I always say, in this life, common sense is not enough. You need a little bit more than common sense. But I'm sure somebody will educate him in his comments. But let's finish playing this.
There is this culture that is almost like when white people say anything about black people, even if it is true, it is labeled racist. It almost seems to be like black people just want people who will re-echo things that they want to hear. It seems like we have a problem with the truth being said when it's said by a white person. There is nothing racist about pointing out the ills in our community. There is nothing racist about a white person being patriotic. There is nothing racist about loving their country and wanting to be put first in their country. No person will put an outsider first before their children. And that's just fact. Black people, there is nothing racist about a white person loving their country so much that they don't want illegal immigrants to stay in their country, because you wouldn't even entertain an intruder in your house. There is nothing wrong for a white person to be patriotic and to believe in their country and to want the best for their country. There is nothing wrong for citizens to feel like they're being stifled in their country and wanting to reclaim it from people who migrated to their country. Absolutely nothing wrong and nothing racist about it. And let me also add, black people, there is nothing racist about white people pointing out degenerate values in our culture, because there is this culture that is
all right. So when people run their mouth from a place of common sense, right and wrong, it is just the truth. When people run their mouth from that place, usually they don't realize, they have no idea what they're talking about, right? They usually don't have an idea what they're talking about. Some people say he was spewing a lot of hateful stuff. I understand the people that say that. Some people might say, no, but I have the right to preserve our resources. I also understand those people. But for someone to sit outside in the UK and have it's a lot of strong opinions, that's wild. But again, I won't say I'm that surprised. But let me see. This is the video. This is one of the videos of Charlie Kirk. Okay, listen to what he said.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
It's a prudent deal.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have
a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year.
Unfortunately, some gun violence every single year. That's what he said.
So that we can have the Second Amendment to
So that we can have the Second Amendment, what?
protect our other God-given rights.
Our other God-given rights.
That is a prudent deal.
That is a prudent deal.
Rational. I think it's worth it.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk, again, rest in peace, does not look like an original American. He looks like he was an immigrant once upon a time, just like, well, I was born here. He was probably born here too. But, you know, in a couple of 100 years, the story tends to change. The context can change very fast when you get into this kind of argument. It's hard argument about baby deletion. It's hard argument about the black person or the plight of the black person. And he's had a lot of very controversial take. When I hear people like him, some of the things I've seen in the feed in the past 24 hours, I usually probably wouldn't listen more than 5 minutes of him, you know, because it's just very myopic. There's no depth to what he has to say. They are extreme in nature and they're political. So I just take that as what it is, just political, right? You know, so, but there's probably a lot of Nigerians. Well, Nigerians are gullible in general. Once you wrap anything inside of Christ, they might just fall in love with you. That's all it takes oftentimes. But anyway, that's sadly, he doesn't deserve for his life to be taken, regardless of that statement. He didn't deserve that, you know. To me, I'd see just as opinions. And sadly, and violence should never be the answers to this kind of stuff. But let me come to the chat before we continue. Hi, Zara. Good to see you, Zara. True, never listened to him more than 3 minutes. I probably couldn't listen to him more than 3 minutes. Yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. Mario, it's good to see you, Mario. Mario says, discovered him yesterday. Congratulations to... Oh, no, I won't say that. Rest in peace to him. Oluremi said, yes, he didn't deserve to be likened like that. Yeah. What's he saying? He's saying it's worth it. Listen, the reality about our life is that we pay some brave prices for the freedom that we have. You know, it's ironic that he had to be himself. It is what it is. Good to see you, Oluremi. Maya says, ignorant people who just went overseas for the first time. Olodo Rabata. Where is D? She called this. She did? Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. Anyway, good to see you all. Let's move on. Engage the conversation if you have anything to say about this one in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk about let's do something lightheaded after that. Let's talk about marriage a little bit. That last lesson is really just, if all you do is talk from a place of common sense, I want you to know that that's bare minimum. You need a little bit more than that. Just like right and wrong, just like you should have common sense. But what I found with the little I know is that it's not enough. Why? Because common sense is usually coming from a place of morals, black and white, you know, very surface level bunch of nonsense that anybody were raised with. But Yoruba people sọ pé tó bá bí ọmọ tó kọ́ àbí á tún rẹ̀ kọ́ there's much more wisdom than just right and wrong, super common sense nonsense that we tend to push around this life. Listen, it's not good enough that you're a good person. That's all I'm saying, okay? And I think Solomon Buchi prides himself as a good person. Congratulations to him, okay? Now, congratulations to him. Marriott, stop. Let's talk about David Oyedepo Jr. There's a report that I was looking at on I thought it would be a lightweight follow-up story to this. 17 years, Pastor Oyedepo shocks Gen Z with marriage testimony. What happened? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Let's read it. Let me find it. Where is it concept? No. It was posted on Instablog Niger. Yeah, it was posted on Instablog Niger. Let's have it. Where is it? Okay, all right. Pastor David Oyedepo Jr. says he's never argued with his wife in 17 years of marriage. Maria, say congratulations to him. Pastor David Oyedepo Jr., the resident pastor of Faith Tabernacle and first son of Bishop David Oyedepo, has revealed that in his 17 years of marriage, he has never argued with his wife. Speaking during a recent sermon, Oyedepo Jr. said the decision was one he made long before marriage. According to him, while many couples see argument as normal in relationships, he deliberately resolved in his heart during courtship that conflict would have no place in his home. He recalled that the pastor once warned him that marriage comes with trouble in the flesh, quote unquote, trouble in the flesh. But he chose instead to build a mindset of peace and harmony. And I quote, I made up my mind that arguments will not exist in my marriage. And 17 years after, there has been no argument, he stated. The revelation has since stirred reactions online, while some praised the testimony as proof that peaceful marriages are possible. Others questioned whether avoiding argument means suppressing feelings rather than addressing issues openly. So that's what we're talking about for a few minutes, guys. Do you think of this as suppressing feelings, right? Avoiding, or this is just the different possibilities that is possible when it comes to marriage? That's what I want to know. I say congratulations, finally, yes, to somebody. Anyway, Olurami say Nalayo. Zara say, LOL, I would walk out his church immediately. You're not going to lie to me like that. So you don't believe him? Are you saying you don't believe him? Let me see what some of the comments are saying on Instablog, because the comment section, this is a whole content on its own. Let me shut some of these pages down so we don't overwhelm our small Wi-Fi resources here. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right, good. So somebody said very possible. Okay, let's go to Instablog Niger, shall we? Let's all go to Instablog Niger together. Somebody said very possible. Everybody know be God of war. Some of you are just toxic. Some of you are just warriors in your own home. Somebody said they probably have better ways of handling their misunderstanding. No, he said there's no conflict. If we're using his exact words, he said there's no conflict. Can there be misunderstandings but no conflict? Okay, I'm just listening. Instead of hurting each other verbally. Okay, that person is just comparing conflict against hurting each other. Okay, all right. Now, let me start giving some lessons here right off the bat. The presence of conflict does not mean you're hurting each other. Okay, the presence of conflict does not mean you're hurting each other. Okay, it simply means you're human. Okay, now Pastor David Oyedepo Jr. is a special type of person. So these guys are rock stars in their own rights. Millions upon millions of followers by way of his father and Faith Tabernacle, Winners Chapel. So to each his own, right? But let me just talk to majority of you, because never say never, right? Everything you can think of is possible. I won't say very possible, but anything your mind can perceive is possible. That's reality. However, we can look around us and see what is probably most likely going to be the case for the average person. Most likely for an average person, conflict is going to be present, and that doesn't always mean toxic. Okay, it simply means two human beings are collaborating, and that will create friction sometimes, oftentimes. And really what you need to learn is how to handle those conflicts, not how to eliminate those conflicts. Because remember, there's another human being involved. While you are eliminating the conflict, the other person is looking at you sideways like, You thought you eliminated something, but they are suppressing their feelings. For an average person, so let me start saying that as we read the comment. Somebody says his dad has been married for over 30 years and has the same story. Well, it is very possible when your criteria for choosing a life partner is based on covenant. Covenants keeping God. There is no one like you. Alpha, Omega. There is no one like you. Anyway, commitment and calling, and not butterflies in the stomach or shape. Duty. This is the part where they say, you guys are all transactional these days. Gone are those days of our forefathers. They never used to do what we do now. Let me not lie to you. For an average member, dare I say, Winners Chapel, this might be Pastor Oyedepo Junior and Senior story. This is not going to be your story. Your story is going to be, you will need to work in order to accomplish what it looks like on the outside. See what this is, a lovely couple, right? You see what this looks like? You will need to do some work, okay? And in addition to prayers or faith, as you might want to call it. So yeah. It doesn't matter if you're 30 years or 18 years. As a matter of fact, what matters is how you live every day. It's not even the number of years, okay? Somebody said I was there when he preached and made that testimony. Was here at a recent program here in Benin City. Kindly note that argument is different from misunderstandings. Okay, this is a good point this person is making, okay? Argument is different from misunderstanding. Absence of argument is not the same thing as avoiding arguments. Okay, argument will often loom its head if you're a normal human being, but you can avoid it, but not directly by avoiding it, but you have to replace it with something else. Okay, what can you replace it with? Active listening. Try to understand where the other person is coming from, and all of that is this active conflict. It's a misunderstanding, but you're handling it, right? It doesn't have to become a full-blown argument, but you can misunderstand each other. You can go back and forth a couple of times before you get a grasp of yourself, because you know this doesn't really end well. You just know it already. You've seen it a few times, so it was present. You've seen it a few times, you know it doesn't end well. So you borrow yourself brain. You say, let me see where this person is coming from. It doesn't make any sense to me right now, but let me see where they're coming from. As a matter of fact, I don't have to have an answer today, but let me just hear them out. Let me think about that. Let me get back to you. If you're used to toxic behavior, it will be awkward in the beginning, but as you practice, it becomes better and better. And then maybe 17 years later, you come and give us testimony and say, we have never argued ever in our life. It doesn't exist because I determined. I didn't say it was lying. I didn't say that. But anyway, somebody said, when a man don't argue, marriage is sweet. Argument makes women feel alive. Argument makes women feel alive. Sometimes ignored us and just give us a hug. We're just emotional beings. That's a good point too. That's a good point. But don't bury feelings. I think burying feelings, we have to be very, 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 very careful with the idea of burying feelings. Okay. Instead of burying feelings, initiate a conversation, then lead with active listening, and just try your best to be in control of your emotions. It can be tough, but it gets easier, it gets better with time. Maya says maybe they have conversations. Yes, they can have conversations, but knowing everything I know about human beings today, again, he might be a special type of being. There are people of all types of shapes. For the average person, conflict is inevitable. Okay, it's inevitable, and you're better off preparing for that and learning how to handle that than putting yourself on a pedestal that you're not going to get caught up in your feelings. Sometimes, as human beings, we will get caught up in our feelings sometimes, but I promise you, it gets better. If you're coming from a place of you understand that this is just us being humans, we're trying to understand ourselves, it gets better with time. Eventually, it will literally feel like you've never argued before. It is very possible, but nothing that good is possible without work. If it's worth it, if it's worthwhile, it requires work. But let me know what your thoughts are. Conversations are a great way to handle conflict. But the person you're having sex with have a tendency to trigger you. usually from a blind spot. So even if you tell yourself, I will do this, I will do that, sometimes they will provoke a certain part of you never knew existed. And you just want to, what do? Just know that heaven is not going to fall out of the sky. It's calm down. Take 30 seconds. Take a deep breath. I promise in that 30 seconds, heaven is not going to fall out of the skies. It's okay to sleep over it. Okay. Some of us have been trained, never sleep over it. When the angels are flying, they will just confirm that marriage is scattered. It's a lie. Oh. Sometimes it's okay to sleep over it. If you have there's certain people with certain personalities, they need time off. If you know you're married to one of those people, embrace it. Give them a little bit, take a step back, and that's probably going to work for you more than thinking yourself as Pastor David Oyedepo Jr. Okay, that's probably more likely going to work for you than saying, God, give me the kind of marriage that Pastor Oyedepo has. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying it's highly unlikely that God will answer such prayer. Am I God? No, but I am kind of God. Okay, the Bible says ye are gods. Remember, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna refresh real quick. Give me about 30 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, so I'm gonna play this video. It's good that we have those few seconds too, because first of all, so this story right here, call the police, call the police, call the police, call the police. Don't listen to them. Okay, and there's a lot of rhetoric about DV on the internet. First of all, anytime you find this kind of situation, it's already sad. Somebody said, buy a camera, buy a camera, buy a camera. Make sure you're documenting all the evidences. I said, no, there are 3 steps you need to take. The first step, call the police. Okay? If somebody don't know how to keep their hands to themselves, first step, easier said than done, but that's what you need to do. Call the police. Second step, leave the relationship. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision, but leave first. Third step, maybe. Third step, everybody can tell I'm using iPhone as camera. Third step, buy a camera. After you've left, okay, buy a camera and start taking picture of yourself for TikTok. Start dancing on TikTok, okay, because life is beautiful. It's not worth it. Don't stay there and be taking evidence. Okay, leave first before you start taking evidence. Yes, easier said than done, but those 3 steps is what you should have at the back of your mind first. Okay, if you ever find yourself in this situation, this very sad situation, I'm going to play the video and then we'll talk. It's already too late. Start collecting evidence. You don't like yourself. That's a lack of self-respect, lack of self-love. That's what it is. Watch this.
Leave which house?
I'm telling you.
This is my house.
I saw.
This is my house.
What happened to my clothes?
Leave my house.
Why did you remove my
told me
clothes?
say none of my property
Why
is here.
did you remove my clothes to go to school? Why did you remove
Head
my
box.
clothes?
They wash them.
Why did you? You see that thing you want? All this while I'm just, and that thing you kill me today.
They do. Do what you want to do.
You see why Papa don't play. That's why you don't know what to do.
I hear a baby crying too.
They do, they go.
Alex,
They do, they go.
Alex, go.
You see these children?
Alex, go.
They run up for government house.
Alex, go. You keep me today. I forgot people you keep me today.
That was a slap.
If I get that today,
They come down. They come down.
as your record, let me get my phone.
As you're recording, let me get my
Keep
phone.
me today.
Don't worry.
I beg you to leave in peace.
Leave in
You
peace.
don't want to
You
leave
tell me to leave in peace.
because you want to fight.
Don't worry.
I beg you to leave
They
in
do, they
peace.
go. Sure.
You see my clothes?
They do, they
You
go.
see my clothes?
They do, they go.
They go. This guy is not in shape too. Look at him breathing very hard.
Don't took me knife for. 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 I will tell you. Don't took me knife. I beg, don't took me knife. I beg,
Did they send you to torment me?
I don't carry knife for you. I don't carry knife for you. I don't carry knife for you. I will tell you. No carry, no took me knife for. No took me knife.
Why didn't you leave
I will tell you, no took me knife. I don't do anything. No took me knife for. No took me knife. I will tell you. No took me knife. No took me knife for. You don't carry knife. No took me knife. I will tell you, no took me knife. I will tell you.
What you go?
Where look at the go?
You're going where?
Don't took me knife
We're
for.
not going anywhere.
Don't took me knife.
Let me have that phone.
Which one? This one.
Let me have that phone.
Let me have that phone.
Let's go here.
Ah,
See. Not
Don't took this knife.
Not took me knife for.
I swear.
I will tell you.
I'm
Not
not
took.
joking with
Not
you.
took me knife.
I'm not
Now
joking.
leave you hold knife. Not took me knife.
No, leave it hold knife.
Now you know how I hold knife
You
for.
use it against me. I don't
I
care.
will tell you. Now you hold
Because I
knife.
begged you.
No.
Leave this room.
You want to kill me?
Go your
You
room.
want to kill me?
Leave me.
Are you trying to kill me? Oh yeah, kill me. Kill me. No worry. Kill me. Kill me now.
all right. I can only play that once, guys. That's too much violence. Uncle Beno, good to see you, sir. Let me read some of the. I'm gonna read some of the comments on there. Oluremi says she snapped Neo. Uncle Beno said, "I want with a couple." Not to say I don't believe it's a skit. Yeah, she told the children to leave. No shoot me knife for. No shoot me knife for. Anyway, let me read some of the comments on the actual Linda AKG blog official. Linda AKG said drama as fight breaks out between abroad-based Nigerian couple. Wife pulls out a knife. A video making the rounds online showing a heated fight between a Nigerian couple living abroad that quickly turned dangerous. In the clip, the argument escalated until the wife was seen pulling. So you see why arguments are no good. Avoid arguments. So let's listen to Pastor David Oyedepo, but let's avoid it properly. Okay. Some people harbor their feelings in the name of their avoiding arguments. They harbor it until it becomes something like this. It's what we call anger. It's bottled up emotions that explodes, right? All right. Shout out to Sheon. I see Sheon on here. Shout out to Sheon. Sheon says some women are beyond redemption at this point, because how can you watch this and still say things like the man provoked her? First off, how would you feel if this was reversed? And secondly, you can see that this woman's anger angers issues. I'm so glad I don't have a son, because the way some women think these days is so scary. I always told you guys something. There's certain lines you cross where you don't get to say they made me do it anymore. I say that here all the time. I don't know if anybody heard me when I've said it. There are certain lines. Once you crossed that line, you can no longer say they made me do it. That's why I keep talking. Talk. Self. It's okay to leave. Somebody say, oh, they will shame me for calling the police. Call the police. Call the police, then leave. Then buy a camera. Okay? Now, for me personally, my first instinct is who is filming this encounter. Okay? Who is filming the encounter? That is, I don't know if it's the first, but it's one of the major things I have to assess. Who is filming all of this, and why are they filming? What is the reason they would tell me why they are filming? I know the reason they would tell me. They would tell me I need to collect evidence just in case. Yes, I know that they would tell me that. But what's the actual reason why they are filming? Okay, my belief personally is that they are also toxic. It's either they are toxic or they are also toxic themselves. If they sat down there to the point where they are living with a person where they don't feel safe, they are not okay themselves. That person is also crazy. Okay? They also is replaceable. They might just be the one that's been crazy all the while until the other person have completely lost their mind. However, if you commit murder, there's no coming back from it. In fact, don't wait until you commit. If you pull out a knife on a person and you got filmed, you are a crazy person. You're crazy. I'm not sorry. I don't have the patience to be listening to who made you turn crazy. No, you can't say that. Anyway, let me go back into comment. Augusta Gold, shout out to Augusta Gold, says, why did he wait when the woman left to get a knife? He got a way of escape and stood there. Life no get part two. Well, he probably can, that's your wife. I'm not giving excuses for him, but this is how the brain works. That's your wife. You've had altercations in the past and you got over it. You probably fell in love even more or had 2 babies after that. But you keep telling yourself that God will one day. God will one day. All right, I guess Augusta Gold, they say, don't do God will. As soon as you can. Gentlemen, including you, call the police. Call the police. If she's crazy, call the police to save her from her. And of course, you first, by the way. Someone said, this is what happens when the law gives women so much power and advantage over men. They will surely abuse us. That is a very irrelevant statement. The only thing you should get out of this is that if this ever happens to you as a man, you too, you deserve your life. Run for your life. If you are bringing in law has much power, advantages, blah, 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 it's irrelevant. There's double standards on both sides of the gender. You're just a gender warrior. You can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. It's crazy. Crazy people everywhere. Let me see here. Somebody said, if I talk divorce, them go say Avila likes divorce. Oh yeah, nah, stay and forgive. Nah, bro. It's okay to leave. Okay? Divorce is just like marriage. You cannot put them on a pedestal. Divorce is necessary when it happens. If it happened, it was necessary. It's because that relationship had failed. The underlying relationship had failed when it happened. You cannot blame divorce. Divorce is not divorce's fault. The same thing now, you cannot blame marriage. It is not marriage's fault. You can't turn around and say marriage is scam. Don't divorce. Don't start teaching people divorce. That is stupid. What you need to be focused on is the underlying relationship. If that relationship is solid, nobody is running away from a good relationship. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, but they influence them on the internet. Okay, it still means your influence is not strong enough to keep your spouse with you. That's still what it means. Anyway, somebody said, good God, you mommy are what? God bless you, daddy. God, you mommy. Yeah, that person is basically playing gender warrior. Be careful with your gender warrior comments or commentaries. You're supporting the woman because you think she was triggered behind the scene. It doesn't matter. She's still responsible for her behavior. So you mean she's justified by trying to unalive her partner? No, nothing can justify this one. So all the women who have unalived their wives, all the men who have unalived their wives because they were triggered are right, justified. No, you're just a gender warrior. You're with double standards. Kai, may God help the innocent kids involved in this union. See, there's double standards on all sides. All right, let me come to our own comment, Jerry. Oh, Uncle Beno said, violence and I don't get along. I'm gone before you get to this point. Thank you, Uncle Beno. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't know why people are gambling with their life. I kind of do know why, but it's crazy. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. You know, in the case I see manipulation, though, I don't see anything. I just see crazy couple. I can't tell anything that they've been together much longer than they needed to be, you know. And nobody should normalize this. Nobody should say, oh, but this happens before. We know it happens. You're not telling us anything new. What we're telling you is make sure it is not you. If somebody ordinarily push your head, call the police on them. It doesn't matter if they're a woman. It should be that simple when it comes to DV. We know it's not that simple, but you decide today to make it simple. Oluremi said, I do believe she must have been going through so much abuse for her to finally snap. Some women are just crazy, Oluremi. So I want you to write this down and take it to the bank. Some women are just crazy. I'll tell you something about men. They don't know how to live a relationship. These men are crazy themselves. They don't know how to live a relationship. Why? Because of societal standards. Men just don't live. They don't leave. They want to keep it together at all costs. That's why they fight people that talk about divorce. You ever wondered? That's why. Now, are there some women who have been provoked? Yes. But once you pull out a knife, you don't get to use that excuse anymore. I'm sorry. You don't. No, we can't. We just can't afford. So yes, you know what? We know we have the statistics, right? 70% of divorces are initiated by women. It needs to go towards 50-50. You know why? Because this man will never leave until sometimes it's too late. Until they get provoked themselves to do something stupid. So again, we gotta be careful with justifying or anything that sounds like justifying. Every adult is responsible when it comes to this kind of situation. Okay, and I know that because I know many women don't know how to keep their hands to themselves because of the double standards. They don't get called to order. The man is too ashamed to come and talk about it in public too, until he gets provoked and he does something stupid, and I tell him, you don't have the excuse either. You should have left a long time ago. You can't use that excuse. Well, she provoked me. No, you cannot use that excuse. You can't. So if I'm telling that to men, you best believe it. That is true across the board. You know, he was filming it. He was the one filming it. He had the camera. That's why she kept saying, give me that camera. Give me that phone. He was filming it. What that tells me is that he had an agenda. Okay? He had an agenda. He had been collecting shege in that relationship for a long time, but he's too stupid to realize that he's lost his self-respect for a long time.
Sorry.
Yeah. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say one simple thing here. Let's just, if you know you're in this kind of situation, leave first. I know what you're afraid of. Maybe you're afraid, you have the fear of the unknown. What's going to happen to my children? What's going to happen to my children? I was never raised that way. I wanted to have a family so badly, a marriage so badly. I didn't want what happened to my parents to happen to us too. Well, it's going to happen if you stay in a toxic relationship. It's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Leave first. It takes courage. It's not easy, I know, but leave first. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision. Some people do come back. A percentage do come back and have a better relationship. But that's not the reason why you should leave. You should just leave because self-preservation first. Put your own mask on first. If you end up in this kind of situation, you spent way too long in a very toxic relationship. All it takes is one event or one wrong event. I remember I'll give you an example one day. Somebody said, oh, it's just how it was. I said, you can put a bottle on the table like this. Before you push somebody like this, somebody swung their hand. They were just meaning to snap themselves off of you, and they hit the bottle, and then it flies, it hit the wall, and before you know, it hit somebody's head. Somebody said in my comment, said, oh, I think it's an Hollywood movie. Actually, some people have been taken out like that. Yeah. Some people have been taken out exactly like that. There's zero tolerance for violence. There's no workplace you go to. It's zero tolerance. They will remove you first before they hear word later on. You as an individual decide that I will never tolerate it. I will never allow it. When you stay, you are encouraging it. Well, I just don't want the shame. They begged me to stay. All of that is not good excuses, because naturally, self-preservation, that's what it should be. But when it comes to relationship, we tend to normalize a lot of nonsense. Remember, it doesn't have to be a permanent decision. It might be a permanent decision. If it becomes a permanent decision, so be it. So be it. And again, some people don't know how to keep their hands to themselves. If you're married to that kind of person, make sure they seek healing first. Sorry, make sure they seek help first before you move forward. Okay? They need help. Okay? So they need help. And you don't have to wait until the next episode. Okay? Don't pull out the camera and that's stupid. Do you not like yourself? You're pulling out camera because you want to film what? All it takes is over. And your camera, that same camera can be used to buy you. Anyway, I'll yield on that one for now. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. We got one more thing to cover today. Then I'll be right back. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Join the conversation in the chat, the comments, replay gang. Let me know what you think about this kind of crazy situation. I'll be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
All right, today I want to finish on a lighter note. Love versus money. Why marriage breakdowns get so messy. There's an article. It's an article that I found, and I thought we should get some stuff because these articles, I read a lot of these articles. They contain like breakdowns with some of the issues that we deal with. When you go to the courthouse, one of the reasons why they will tell you that divorces are happening is money, finances, right? They always say money, finances, infidelity. The third one they always say is irreconcilable differences. The fact that irreconcilable differences is in that list should tell you that the rest of the two is probably nonsense. Okay, and I'm the only one that really says that. I think there are two reasons why marriages break down. I think it's pride and unrealistic expectations. Mismanaged pride / ego and unrealistic expectations. Okay, I think of that as the root that might show up as finance issues, financial abuse, infidelity, and all these other things, but expectations and pride and ego. But I understand why the studies will say irreconcilable differences, finances, infidelity. Okay, but today let's see what we can learn from this article on investmentnews.com. Love and marriage, the challenges of separating the two when marriage breaks down. Love and money. Okay, when marriage breaks down, when does marriage break down? Anybody want to guess? The marriage break down long before divorce. Okay, the marriage did not break down at divorce. Nobody is preaching divorce to your wife. She left you much longer than you thought. Okay, she had left. Our spirit had left that marriage a long time ago. You just didn't know. Are you serious? I knew it. No, you didn't know it. So you're still arguing. You're trying to retain a woman that doesn't want to be with you. He left you a long time ago. Anyway, so when we say love and money, the challenges of separating the two when marriage breaks down, as you can see, when marriage breaks down, before they actually pull the trigger on the divorce, you start arguing about money. So by the time you get to the divorce court and they ask you to fill out some paperwork, the reason for the petition, you might just fill out finances, right? Because those are the last series of events that you remember. Your husband takes your car and go and park it somewhere else because he's punishing you because he said he bought you the car. He used this money to buy the car. So financial abuse, right? And he's trying to use resources, finances, and materialistic things to punish you, to get you to submit finally, right? Well, what were the things he was going through? What were the resentment that he had against you that led to that, right? See, unfortunately, nobody has pulled knife here, so we can talk about some of the things that led to this point, right? The only time I said we can't talk about what led to it is if we are talking criminal behavior. Okay, pulling knife on a person is criminal behavior. It doesn't matter what made you do it. If you end up doing it, you're going away for life. So I cannot speak to that, to those kind of extremes. But the mild, small abusive behavior that happens between couple when they have resentments, we can talk about that. We can help you mitigate the risk of those kind of things. And that's why we'll talk about love and money. So if you start to argue about money, it looks like money is the issue, but no, money is a tool, right? It's a resource. And when it gets down to it, it's not about how much resources you have, it's about how resourceful you can be, right? So the little that you are accorded, that God has given you, you and your husband or you and your wife, do you know what to do with them? Do you know how to move without moving mad? Especially when there might be occasional conflict around decision making on how to use the limited resources that you have, right? Everybody have limited resources. It's not just you. Some people look richer. Some people are riding Range Rover, but they don't have any money left over after they pay the bills every other week. So you are busy comparing yourself when actually what you have is more than enough. It's just a matter of, can you be resourceful or you can't be, right? You as a couple, but first you as an individual, because sometimes the other person you might not see eye to eye, but you can lead. If you can complain, you can lead. Anyway, divorce is really simple, but when I'm reading now. Divorce is really simple, but when significant wealth is involved, things can become complicated and conflict can be better. Added into the mix of divorcing couples today is the economic environment, which means separating partners may have challenging demands that increase the complexity of the split. Sylvia Ginnan, senior vice president investment officer at the Ginnan Financial Strategies Group of Wells Fargo Advisors, has shared with Investment News her perspective on how financial professionals can guide clients through the process. One of the more pressing issues comes from the housing market. And I quote, high interest rates are making it more difficult for couples going through divorce to get into new homes equivalent to their existing lifestyles. Okay, so let me paint the picture of what that is. So during COVID, you're able to lock in a very super low rate, 4%, 5%, 4.5% interest rate on your mortgage. And now COVID has finished. Interest rates are at 8%, 7%, right? And you're about to sell the house. Yes, you could sell the house, but you need to move into another house, right? But you're trying to sell the house. You could make some money. First of all, you have to argue on, anyway, that whole thing going on with Simon Gubadia and Portia Williams. Or then you find out that you've taken out some loans when the money was so cheap, right? And now you find out that there's some liens against the property. Bottom line is that it's not so easy. The more money you have, you would think it's supposed to be easy. The richer you are, it's supposed to get easier. But this article is saying the more complex it gets. You know why? Because money multiplies everything. Just like social media, okay? With rates being close to double, it is hard to maintain a similar price point for their housing, particularly when their net worth is being divided. Ouch. Beyond real estate, hidden assets have also become a more common concern. Due to their more complex nature, some spouses are choosing to hide net assets in their digital asset accounts. It is important to bring on experts to help find any assets that were being hidden in virtual wallets. She says, bringing financial professionals such as forensic accountants to trace accounts and find hidden assets is one way to ensure all assets are accounted for. In one breath, you're thinking, Ola, why are you teaching people how to start dragging each other in It's not me. But these are the things that happen. This is why I said don't glorify divorce. Divorce is not something you can glorify, honestly, to be honest, right? But what I'm saying is that when somebody is advising your ex-partner to bring in professionals so they can find any hidden assets, even those ones that you didn't think was assets, they're not saying, what about this? You go to mediation and they're saying, what about this one here? And you're like, Ayema Nikao, you this man, and I loved you with my whole life. You want to destroy me. You in your mind, you're like, no, we had an argument. It's emotional abuse. I think we should just exit the marriage. And then you forgot. You didn't even know that you had that much resources. But they have brought on financial forensic people, and they start to expose all the things that look like money. And then you start dragging it out. What about the emotional drain? Let's not talk about that today. We just talk about what's probably going to happen. If you have, and the more money, right, the higher your salary is. Yes, it gets very crazy. Let me see here, Uncle Benny. Let me drop that link real quick because we will be running away very soon. I have a session coming up in about 25 minutes. I dropped the link, Uncle Benno. All right. Today, many large accounting firms have digital asset experts on their team. She says it can be costly, but a good return on investment if hidden assets are found. Even if new assets are not found, it is a good way to have confidence and move forward after a settlement. All right, so really what I want to, somebody said, okay, in the here, there's a quote here, says prenups are a key tool to create clarity and bring expectations to the forefront. Okay, prenups can be cracked, by the way, although Samuel Gubadia, who created the prenup, tried to crack the prenup, but it did not work. Okay, they upheld it. The prenup is not going to protect your heart. It's not going to protect you from vindictive ex-partners. Okay, she says it may be uncomfortable to discuss with your soon-to-be spouse, but it sets the precedent for open communication about finances. Postnups are a good tool to use if there is uncertainty. Postnups do exist. Postnups, after marriage, you decided that, babe, we have a lot going on here. I think we should spell some things out on paper, right? Yes, it will be an awkward conversation. You see, oftentimes I highlight more of the emotional work that we need to do, creating emotionally safe space for your partner, so you never have to enter this zone. Okay, so I'm never really saying don't do things like prenup or postnups. What I'm trying to tell you is that I think nobody else highlights that those things never really protect your heart, and it doesn't protect you from vindictive ex-partners. Because anything Yoruba people say, Oyinbo to kọ̀wé, Oyinbo to ṣe pẹ́ńsù, ló ṣe ìrésà. There's nothing that cannot be erased or deleted. Okay, at least from a perception standpoint, or at least from a legal standpoint. Never mind people that might say, Uncle Bendo, I dropped the link. Please come in as soon as you can. Never mind people that say, in America, once they say it is that way, it is that way. It's a lie, oh. It's a lie. America or the Western world is too far from perfection, if that's what you thought. The only thing is that we do have institutions that will protect an average person from maybe financial standpoint, institutional standpoint, but the institutions, including the divorce court, including the civil what do you call them, the civil judicial system, does not really protect your heart. It doesn't protect your mental health. It doesn't. If anything, it's to drag your mental health through the muds. Okay, so when I say work on yourself, I know what I'm talking about. I know at times it might sound like broken record, but I promise you it's worth everything. Okay, and everything else tends to follow suit. Okay, and then if you decide you want to do post-op, prenup, at least you're doing it from a non-emotional standpoint, as opposed to, oh, I'm so angry with women, let's do prenup. That's emotions speaking, not the prenup. That's emotions camouflaged. Okay, Uncle Beno, talk to me, Jerry, my brother. We're rounding up. Thanks for rounding up with me.
Hey, MOP, how you doing?
How you doing? By day, I still in the middle of it. It's 9 p.m. here on the mountainside, so
We don't
yeah.
climb the mountain, no, please. All right. So I just want to talk about two things, but
Hmm.
basically just one. It's more
Yeah.
like I just wanted to like sample your opinion regarding the previous segment before the last one now.
The
The
DV,
one
yes.
where the one where the wife won't chop the husband neck come out. All right.
Hmm.
So I've watched that video couple of times because I know definitely we're gonna be reacting to it tomorrow, and I don't want to come off like a coconut head, but I just wanted to see maybe you and I were looking at the same thing. First off, I think that husband is manipulative, and just like you rightly said, I think both husband and wife, they are both toxic. They should have called that marriage off for a very long time. If you listen to, even though it's a very short video, but both their action and their words speak a lot, tells a lot about what's going on in that marriage. Like, for instance, I pick up when the woman said, I told you not to come to my room. Why do you come to my room? Go to your room. So that already told me that, man, these people have been at this craziness for quite some time then. But that, just by the way, I think I will get into all of that tomorrow. What I'm really seeking your opinion on is this. That recording, it's a giveaway for me. The recording, the man is doing the recording, and it tells me a lot. It seems like that woman, that man has been doing some shit to that woman for a long time until she snapped. And now, because they are abroad, he wanted to cover up himself, so he need hard evidence. So I guess when I look at the video, now as a cameraman, I wanted to see if that is a raw footage or if that footage has been tampered with. So then I saw what I was looking for. Towards the bottom of that video, I see the answer right there. That was not the full video. Dude has been recording. He has been recording before he gets to the point where we start watching it, because he has to edit that video with InShot. And one of the things this app will allow you to do is to cut clips. So I guess he was recording after had successfully triggered the lady and everything was ongoing. He now cut the video before he posted the one we are seeing. Now, when that lady went and brought that knife, I have a feeling that if not for the camera, it will have been a different ball game completely. First off, I don't know why that man was still there, but now that the wife came with the dagger, she looked at that phone. First, she was coming with mad range. The moment she grabbed him in the neck and was about to strike, her eyes goes to that phone that the man was holding. And then she stopped, and that's when she's like, give me that phone, give me that phone. So I think him recording is part of what saves his life. I don't think the phone actually stopped the lady from striking him, but I think the lady could not be sure whether he was actually transmitting whatever he was recording live or maybe just ordinary recording. So that's why she stopped for that split second, and that's what saved his life. So that's what I wanted to ask you. If you also look at it and you pick up one or two things regarding that moment where she came with that, because if you look at her eyes in that video, man, that is range.
That was rage, yeah.
That was it, where she was coming. If you notice when she had bought him, oh, I'm not gonna blame the lady. My thing is nobody should get to that point anyway, because that is pure madness. But I wanted to know, do you think that recording actually saved him the way me I see it now? Because I saw her eyes go to that phone and then she stopped before she said, give me that phone, give me that phone. That's what I wanted to ask, and that's the reason I think you dropped
Thank
it,
you.
Baba.
Thank you for that question, Baba. You see, first thing first, yes, the fact that he pulled out the camera and started filming is a form of manipulation. Of course, with that camera, he'll be able to manipulate the story or the narrative, right? That whatever narrative he's trying to push, it's not just him. Many people actually say people should start buying cameras. Or like, are you crazy? Instead of you to start leaving the relationship, why you start buying camera? So, so that's the way I see the camera thing. So now I can't fully tell. If you remember, Oluremi was also saying something to that, and I said, unfortunately, like I always tell the men here, once you start pulling out knives, we cannot accept the excuse that they made you do it, because they could have made you leave too, right? Now to the main question that you're asking, if the camera saved his life, I don't know. I don't believe the camera can save anybody's life. I think the camera can make you win a case in court. Okay, might save you from losing a case in court. That woman, like you've just rightfully said, had rage. In fact, I think the camera, I would argue, I don't know, but I would argue that the camera pissed her off even the more. Before she went to go and grab the knife, he was already pissed off. When she said, "You are filming, let me go and grab my own phone," because she also wanted to tell her own story. She said that before she went to grab the, if you go and watch the game, you see where she said, "Make her go grab my own phone." You understand what I'm saying? Because she also wants to film. Everybody is in competition trying to grab their camera first to feel the calamity between their marriage. See, these people are crazy. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if I can. It will be a general rhetoric. Oh, the camera saved him. No. I think she actually got pissed off more because of the camera. Because at some point she also wanted to grab the camera because she would like to delete the recording. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
So I this and I don't know in terms of how he got posted. That video could have been sitting in their phone for 5 years. They might even be in a different place in their marriage or life right now. You know what I'm saying? Because if you, at any time if you see that video and you post it on internet by mistake, maybe somebody stole your phone, it will go viral because it's a crazy scene we just saw. We don't know how the story went down. The only thing me personally I'm willing to say about this story is that these people are crazy, and they are crazy to be in such a marriage, and I'm not going to exonerate any one side. He had a camera. That camera is just as good as a knife as far as I can see. Everybody might not see that, but as far as I can see, the camera is as good as a knife. If you are able to gaslight a person to the point where they will pull out a knife, I can see that far. You see what I'm saying? And I think you're a crazy person and you're dangerous to yourself as well as your children. That's how I see it. Not just the obvious stuff, which is, oh, she pulled the knife and he saved her. It might have been, I don't know, So hopefully I answer your question though. Chidima, I agree, her eyes were crazy. No humanity left. But yes, recording is manipulation. Reminds me of Korah Obidi's husband. They are saying, nope, if he's truly afraid, he would have fled. No, some people are crazy. They will stay in a toxic situation. Uncle Benny, talk to me. Let's round up. Uncle Benny.
Hey, MOP, can you hear me?
It's going in and out somehow. It's a little choppy. It could have been me though. My connection is bad.
My daughter just called me. Maybe that's why.
I can hear you.
All right. Basically, that's just what I wanted to clarify with you. My thing is, nobody should be in a marriage where they get to this point that they are threatening to unalive each other. I have never been a supporter of that. And that's why I kept saying that until men realizes that divorce is two ways, we won't get out of this mess. Until you realizes that divorce is actually at your own, you can actually divorce for your own peace of mind. Until a man knows that, I don't think we are ready, Baba. I don't think so. And we were having the conversation at the backstage earlier today, and I was of the opinion that if not me, this thing no go reach this point. There are times where you don't have to argue with the woman. There are times where you make some statements, the way you say it, quietly, calm, but the way he drops, the woman you are talking to, we instantly knows that, this is not the regular conversation we used to have. It's simple. For me personally, me and violence, we don't go together. I don't do that. And that's why I always pride myself as a consequentialist, and I always advise men, you got to set boundary. And then don't be a man who says something and you don't do it. Once you are in the marriage with a woman and you think that this thing is not working, bro, both of you need to go and talk to somebody to resolve it for you. If you guys can't find a common ground, if you as a man, you want to stand and say, because I had that dude saying, this is my house, you can live in this house. I just look as if we're in here for abroad.
I know, right? This is my house or dead.
I don't leave the house for you since.
I know, right?
I don't understand some men though. Baba, I'm telling you, You bring bass boats like this. Where to be the house? This Paco house that we are buying in America or where? I am gone. I am gone. That's just it.
The house that you will lose, that they will sell, that your children will sell.
Bani.
For banjo, foreclosure. All right, thanks, Baba. We'll talk soon. Yeah, it's stupid. Thank you, Uncle Bedo. My connection is pretty bad, so I know you guys are probably hearing him very well, but I wasn't hearing him very well because of two-way transmission because of this crazy, stupid Wi-Fi here. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Shout out to Dale James. Good to see you, Dale James. It seems the house is he didn't want to leave. It seems like he lacks self-respect and he doesn't like himself. You know, that's what it seems like to me. And all of us, when we can get into a place in a relationship like that we've lost ourselves, that will completely forget that you have to be here to enjoy the relationship. Don't be that person. That's all we're saying. Don't be that person. But I'm looking forward to Uncle Bendo's show tomorrow. I know that's going to be a heated debate. I would love to see it. I'll join in if I can. I'll try to join in on Uncle Ben. Just find Uncle Ben O on YouTube. If you don't know, most of you know it. So, but just in case, find Uncle Ben O on YouTube. So it's probably gonna have a panel. They will discuss this tomorrow. I look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, self-respect. Everything starts with self. Yes, we extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topic. Remember, it starts with self. Don't disengage from your power. Your power is not materialistic things, obviously. Your social cues must be on point. Okay, don't say things like "Go buy a camera and make sure you collect evidence." You say something like that, you don't like yourself, obviously. You know. Let's not talk about seduction now because this is probably all in the pot already. Obviously, there's low levels of attraction, there's low levels of emotional intelligence. These are the things you need to be operating with. Once you notice that the other person is not operating from that standpoint, take a step back. You go learn it. Start practicing for yourself. Use it in all your different types of relationships. Learn how to attract the kind of reality you would like to live in. And then if that person belongs there, they will belong there. They will work on themselves. If they don't belong there, they will self-eject. Hit the like button. Share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Shout out to all my people in the chat. Marriott, Chidima, you showed up. Good to see you, Chidima. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for being here. Everybody, Oluremi, good to see you too. Oluremi showed up. Hallelujah. I know she's always watching though, but shout out to Blexy. Shout out to you. Blexy said, man should leave. Yes, man. Yes, man. Learn how to leave. If you don't like him anymore, leave. And get rid of all those traditional nonsense. Leave. If the person is toxic, the way you're going to teach them how to treat you is to leave. Take a step back. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision. But the fact that you don't know how to leave is no wonder why you're being disrespected. Because you lack self-respect. That's why. Somebody slapping you like that and you stay in that situation. Your head is not correct at all. Anyway, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. We'll see you on the next one very soon, this weekend. Peace.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor.